Hi everyone, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to put together a very classic dish from Tamil Nadu, which is a Kathirikai Rasavangi, which is rasa is a gravy and Kathirikai is small brinjal. You can use any type of brinjal. You can use a green brinjal, you can use a small brinjal, you can use big brinjal, any brinjal that is available to you, but I usually like to use the small purple variety because each brinjal brings out its own flavors and taste, and you should experiment with it. Very simple to make. We're going to be roasting a few ingredients, cooking the tur dal and bringing it all together and simmering it to make a nice gravy of the brinjal, which is the Kathirikai Rasavangi. Delicious dish. So without wasting any time, let's just dive right in and I'll show you how to make it. For the Kathirikai Rasavangi, there are a bunch of ingredients that I've prepped up and kept. I've soaked some tamarind and kept it aside, and I have some tur dal here with me, which I washed, and now I'm going to pressure cook it until it becomes nice and soft. So the first thing I'm going to do is to first pressure cook the tur dal, add some water. So we'll pressure cook this for about 2 whistles, and after that turn the heat to low, simmer for about 3 to 4 minutes and then turn off the heat. Allow the pressure to release naturally because the tur dal will continue to cook in the pressure. So that will take about 10 to 15 minutes for the pressure to release, and so once done, we'll be ready to use it in our Kathirikai Rasavangi. Next, I'm going to extract the tamarind water. So I have soaked like a small lemon-sized tamarind and in hot water. When you soak it in hot water, it cooks, it softens very quickly. So the way to extract tamarind water is to quickly mash up the soaked tamarind, okay? And then use a strainer and then extract the tamarind water. So if, like for example, depending upon the dish that you're making, you might want to do multiple extracts. This is a curry or a sambar or a rasam, you can do multiple extracts, okay? But if you want to have just the first extract of the tamarind to be really strong, then just use the first extract. So the second extract, we'll just add a little bit more water and we'll add it to this. I usually like to use fresh tamarind, but if you're short of time and you feel you want to use the ready-made tamarind paste, you can go ahead and use that. But I always recommend using fresh ingredients because the taste and flavor that comes from using the fresh ingredients is simply different. It feels very fresh and wholesome. And very simple, right? It just needs a little bit of prep. While the tur dal is cooking, we can make the tamarind, and while the tamarind is done, we'll roast the spices. We'll put them all together. In 20 minutes, this dish will be done. Next, I'm going to go ahead and chop up my eggplant, which is the Kathirikai, right? You can chop it up into lengthwise or small dices. I'm going to dice them, and I'm going to, once you cut the brinjal, it sort of darkens up. So what you need to do is, as you keep cutting it, you should keep adding it into water, and so that it doesn't discolor. So this water is going to be a little bit of salted water. I'm just going to go ahead and add some salt into this water as well. That's right. That's good. We'll cut the rest of it, and then after that we'll roast the spices and then roast the brinjal and then put everything else together. I have all the ingredients ready. Just going to go ahead and add in the chana dal first because the chana dal takes a lot more time to roast. So we're going to roast this on medium heat until it becomes lightly golden and crisp. It will start turning a different color. So that's when you know it's roasted. So it'll take about a couple of minutes. So notice that the chana dal is turning a different color at this stage. Just going to go ahead and add in the coriander seeds, the whole black peppercorns, and the red chilies. We'll roast this first for about a minute. You'll start noticing that the seeds start popping and you'll start smelling the aromas of coriander as well as the black peppercorns and the red chilies ghat, which will just come through. So I can see the seeds are already popping. Okay, this looks good. At this stage, I'll just add in the fresh coconut. You don't have to roast it till it becomes brown. It just needs to get toasted a little bit. I love the flavors of all the fresh ingredients when you roast, you know. This is what makes cooking special and makes the dishes come to life when you actually roast the ingredients and when it's roasted fresh and then added into curries and gravies. So that's it. This is done now. My next step is to allow this to cool and then we'll blend it to make a smooth powder. It's always good to use a small mixer grinder jar, and if you have a mixer grinder, ensure that you buy one which has a small jar. Very useful for grinding all the fresh spices and the masalas that you make at home. Now all we have to do is to blend it, and that's it. The masala is ready. It's ground nice and coarse because of the coconut. It's not going to be smooth. It'll be like this. Perfect. Now let's proceed next to put the Kathirikai Rasavangi, all of them together. So while we made the tamarind water and then roasted the masala, the tur dal is ready. Yes, that's how quick it is. It's cooked beautifully. It's nice and soft. So I'm just going to use a masher and just give it a mash. So we make it nice and smooth like this. Now that the dal is cooked, the next step is to roast the brinjal. And you know, one of the most important ingredients in cooking is the oil as well. So what type of oil you use also adds to the flavor of the dish, from coconut to sesame to mustard oil to olive oil. I mean, various different oils which bring in a lot of taste and flavor. This is the sesame oil. We also call it the nallanai or the gingerly oil. Okay, so I've put this into a pan and I'm going to add in the mustard seeds and allow it to crackle. So once you notice that the mustard seeds are popping out and they're crackling, that's when you know that it's done. And at this stage, I'm just going to go ahead and add in my curry leaves. I'm going to tear it and add it in. You can finely chop it and also add it. And remember to eat the curry leaves and don't put it aside because they have a lot of goodness in them. And I'm going to add in my brinjal. And now we're going to cook the brinjal, roast it on medium-high heat, cover the pan, add in some salt, turmeric, and just cook the brinjal, okay? There's another way that you can make it by actually adding all of this into a pressure cooker along with the tamarind water. But I've also noticed, I do that sometimes, but I noticed that if you actually roast it in the pan, the flavors come out even more deeper and tastier. Some turmeric powder and salt. So we'll cover the pan and we'll cook it for about 7 to 8 minutes. Keep stirring it in between so that it doesn't get stuck to the bottom and it gets roasted evenly. Let it get cooked until it's soft and then we'll put everything else together. Okay, the brinjal is beautifully cooked and well roasted. It's soft, right? So when you press on the brinjal, it'll be soft. And this was nice, good brinjal. It had a little seeds in it, but it was just good enough for this particular dish. Now I'm going to go ahead and add in all my remaining ingredients, which is the fresh masala that I ground and some jaggery, the tamarind water, and I'm going to now give this tamarind water along with the masala boil for about 3 to 4 minutes. So you want the raw taste from tamarind to go away. In a couple of minutes, when you boil it along with the masalas and the brinjal, it'll just go away. Notice that it's thickening up because of all the masala. We're just going to add a little bit of water. The fresh flavors of the pepper is just coming through. Roasted pepper, coriander. Brilliant. Yum. Can you believe it? A gravy which is rich in pepper and all these fresh roasted ingredients topped along with some rice and ghee. Yummy. Okay, this looks about good. I'm just going to go ahead and add in my tur dal. And then we will boil it for another couple of minutes, about less than 2 to 3 minutes, and we will be done. Right, so I'm just going to give this a stir. So the gravy will tend to thicken up because of all the roasted masala. So we're just going to add a little bit of water, then allow it to simmer. You will have to add a little bit of salt because we added the tur dal, we added the tamarind water, and it requires a little bit of salt because the salt I added for cooking the brinjal was probably just enough for that. And it could have blended along with it as well, but we'll give it a taste, and you will know how much more salt you would want to add. Right now, brisk boil for about 2 to 3 minutes, and this is done. This is great. It's been boiling for about a couple of minutes, and it's thickening up a little bit, and as you let it rest, it'll thicken up more because that's the nature of the gravy. Just give it a taste right now, and let's see. Outstanding. I can feel the flavors of the pepper the coconut, the fresh coriander, and the roasted brinjal along with that sesame oil, all of them are coming together, right? Just brilliant. Now I can't wait to serve it along with some quinoa and foxtail millet, the recipe of which I would have shared with you. It's below in the YouTube link. You have to try it with that. You can also serve it along with some plain rice. Top it with some ghee. So I hope you enjoyed watching this recipe of how to put together Kathirikai Rasavangi. You must give it a try. Serve it along with some rice and then have it along with some keerai masiyal or 𝗔𝗠𝗔𝗭 roast or a dondeka roast or a curry, any type of vegetable of your choice like a mutakos poriyal or a keerai thoran or a beetroot poriyal, anything of your choice. Have a vegetable by the side for sure. Mix it along with some rice or a foxtail millet and quinoa and top it up with some ghee. Don't forget that. Brings out beautiful taste and flavors, and then eat it for a delicious meal. And isn't that simple? Very easy to make. Simple ingredients from your kitchen. Just have to put in some patience, time, and love, and you'll have a delicious meal at home. So do give this recipe a try, and when you do, don't forget to share your feedback in the comments below, because I'll always be looking to hear back from you. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because week on week you will find more such recipes that are fun to cook, delicious to eat. So until then, until next time, happy cooking and healthy eating.